No, this is a dark time in our country. I think a lot of people have thought that about the past few years. And now it seems as though doom and gloom are prevailing themes that both candidates, all the candidates, are running on ahead of this November's election, from painting opponents as dictators to declaring the American dream dead. Mr. Biden and Mr.
Depends
Trump.
who you ask.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on who you think is dreamy, as well as several other candidates running for the party's nomination for the Republicans. They have relied on some themes that really resonate with a lot of people. I mean, you think about some of the news that we've reported on. People building barracks in their backyards because of, a doomsday event potentially happening. Some are wondering how the tone of these campaigns will impact voter turnout in November.
Yeah, all this dire apocalyptic messaging. Let's dig in deeper on this one with the host of NewsNation's On Balance, Leland Vittert. Leland, Happy New Year to you. I wanted to break down just a quick number here, some poll numbers. The latest Decision Desk HQ polling average shows a vast majority of Americans, 67% of us, think the country is on the wrong track. So it's not really surprising that we're hearing such dark messaging from the 2024 field, but I was thinking about this yesterday. Is this time around really any different from 4 years ago, 4 years ago before that, or do we all have political amnesia and think each election cycle is the most dire and the most frayed?
Great point. Happy New Year. Good morning. I would say that it is very different this time around than it has been in previous election cycles. This concept that American democracy is on the line, if you vote for the other guy, the American experiment is over. And that's the only thing that really President Trump, former President Trump, and President Biden agree on is they begin to make their pitches here in 2024, 306 days until Election Day. That's unlike anything we've ever heard before. That's not really the American spirit. You think about Ronald Reagan, Morning in America. You think about Bill Clinton walking out to Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow. 16 years after he was elected, that was still Bill Clinton's walkout song. Typically, presidential candidates run on something about optimism. Sure, they say that I can do better than the other guy, but it's very rare that they don't offer anything other than simply, I'm not the other guy. And I think that probably points to what you were talking about in that poll. 67% or so say we're on the wrong track. 80% of Americans say that they don't think their kids are going to have a better life. That's the highest that number has ever been. George Will was on with us last night about this issue. He says, look, as soon as there's a focus group that says optimism will sell, then candidates are going to start being optimistic. The American public isn't optimistic. That's what the candidates are responding to.
Yeah, but Leland, you think about it, and I'm glad that you mentioned how different it is. Less than 4 years ago, we were in the midst of a global lockdown. People couldn't leave their homes. People had to watch their family members die in hospitals without visiting them, saying their last words on an iPad. I mean, there's been a huge shift in what people think is possible, where their hope is. Do you think when some of these candidates, whether it's Make America Great Again to Biden just this weekend over the holidays saying America's coming back, do those optimistic words fall deaf when eclipsed with the historic events we've all lived through?
You're right to bring up the pandemic. I think what's most interesting about it is that 4 years ago today, so if we were sitting here having this conversation in the beginning of 2020, none of us knew about COVID or mask mandates or vaccines or social distancing. I could keep going on with a list, but I'm going to give people PTSD of all the things that changed in our life. So the potential for the black swan between now and November is enormous. It has always happened in elections. What I would argue, though, to that point is I think that people have been so tribalized, and that's what we're seeing in America, not necessarily a red-blue divide, but a rural America divide, a much more of a class divide that continues in America. Those are powerful forces that the politicians are reacting to on both sides of this. Think about it this way. Andrew Breitbart once said that politics is downstream of culture. And our culture has become that divided as well. So it probably shouldn't be that surprising that reporters or the politicians are doing this. But it probably isn't necessarily a good thing either. in the same way our culture being divided isn't that great of a thing either.
I don't think.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.